Just incredibly proud of this group. We've shown just some glimpses over the last few weeks, just of how special a team it is, and how bought in and collectively hard we work together. It's something special. It's not fracture. It's not individuals. People celebrate just as hard for other players scoring goals. People come off the bench and do their roles well. Just as a collective group, it's very fun to watch, and in turn, it's very hard to beat. So we're playing some of our best soccer right now, and it comes at a really good time.
Coach, this is your first time to the Elite Eight since 2013. How does that feel for you personally?
It feels great. We've talked about this team thinking that we can do great things, but it takes, the right players stepping up in the right moments. And, the guys to the left and right of me here are two guys who found the bravery and confidence to step through in those moments. And these guys, the last two rounds have been, as good as it gets. And, and I think the one thing we said at halftime today was we were going to get through as at one. We were going to win 2-1, 3-1, or 4-1. And we got to 4, but we made sure that they weren't going to score again. And that doesn't, stop and start with this guy as a defender. It was these attacking players working their tails off too.
Yeah, how important was that early goal for the team's mindset? And Blake, can you describe what happened?
I think that was huge for us. Getting on the score sheet early is always big. It gives us a big momentum shift towards our way. And the goal came off a corner. I think Meek crossed it, and it was to the near post, and Max trapped it and laid it off to me, and I just kicked it in.
So Ethan, I believe that was the first time you guys have given up all season. Did that worry you guys at all? Because you guys were shutting them out, like you guys didn't let him get a shot on goal until that penalty. So
I think at the time there's belief that Sam would save it, and then when he didn't, it's not like we've been down before. We weren't even down at that point. I think we play the same way no matter what. I think just getting back on the front foot was important.
And I think those are the testing moments, that you want to go through seasons unscathed, but we talked about that Cal Stanford weekend building us more than anything else. And in the long run, when you play against better teams, they're going to make little comebacks, and they're going to test you in different ways. And that was a test. And it didn't feel good to any of us when it went to 1-1 and we're out shooting 11-1 at that point. But there's no point in hanging your head. You just got to get back to work and see if we can find the second.
You have 2 goals now, right? When's the last time you've done that?
I don't know. I was like 10 or 11 probably.
How important was that goal before halftime for the team psyche heading to the locker room?
I think it was huge for us. Going up 2-1 at half instead of 1-1's it's huge. Going into half, we were just talking about keeping that clean sheet for the second half, and we knew if we kept a clean sheet, we would win. So getting that second goal was really big for us.
Yeah, Ethan, can you describe a little about what happened?
I don't know how it exactly happened, but I know it popped out to Joey out wide, and then he just put a good ball into the 6-yard box, and the goalie didn't come for it. So pretty easy finish for me.
Jimmy, you're surprised at how dominant you guys have been. I mean, you guys it has 19 shots to 1 at one point, and then was it 17 corners to 0 last week? I mean, just the absolute dominance. Does it surprise you at all?
It's been strange because we've watched these teams on video and they've looked really good. Maybe that's the home field advantage we've earned, and we're really comfortable here. But somehow we've made really, really good teams look not as good on the night. So, credit to our, I think a lot of that comes from defending because we've made teams uncomfortable. And, not to look ahead straight away, but, I've watched Georgetown enough to know they're a really good team too. So maybe we can do the same next week. Who knows?
I mean, Georgetown kind of had to do like you guys. It pretty much had it pretty easy. How excited are you guys to get a chance to play them and that challenge?
I think we're super excited for it. I mean, being in the Elite Eight is a huge accomplishment for us, but we want to get to that College Cup, and so playing a really good team like Georgetown will be a good test moving forward. So we can't wait for it.
I think at this point, no matter who you play, there's 8 teams left in the country. It's always going to be a tough test.
Certainly, and you want to play. I mean, you want to play great teams, and Marshall was Conference USA. They won the double there this year, and it was like they had a bunch of kind of international guys that were going to bring a different flair. We were excited to play them today because it was a different game than we've played. And we never played Georgetown, so we never played BC. So for us, it's just a bunch of new fun games, and we're taking on the challenge.
I know you talked about the Pac-12 title first, but I mean, getting the College Cup, I mean, that was always in the back of your mind, right? It has to be, right?
Certainly.
I think so. I think at the start of the season we knew we had the abilities to make it that far, and so it was just coming together as a team to actually do it. And we've been working for this since January, I think, so having it fall at the right time has been awesome.
Blake, you just scored your 8th goal in 8 matches. What's clicking for you right now in the Washington offense?
I don't know. I think it's just being in the right place at the right time. I mean, a lot of the goals have, like I said last week, come from my teammates doing most of the work. So
This stuff, they always, going back, not even to our sport, but going back to Kelsey Plum, looking at her in the gym every day and hitting extra shots. Well, this guy quietly, has probably taken more racks of balls and taken more finishing than any other guy in our team over the last 8 months. And you never know. That's what we always talk about. We never know when it's going to pay off, but there's going to be times that it is. And obviously the last few weeks have been, basically proof of you put the work in, good things will happen.
Other teams said second balls were a problem for them. It's been a long season. How do you guys find the energy to be first of all this late in the season?
I think a lot of that's Johnny and Christian in the midfield. I think they have motors that I don't think anyone else can match on a lot of different teams.
Yeah, those two are special. They're ball hawks, and it's fun it's fun for these guys because they know that they're always going to be a close option and pick up stuff. But we're fresh. I mean, it's crazy to say it, but I honestly think, it will be a day off, a couple of light days. But I think these guys are they're not heavy-legged at this point.
I think that goes to show how deep our team is too. I mean, we can sub anyone on at any time and they'll make an impact. So being able to keep fresh legs has been huge for us.